Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so, along with hitting that thumbs up button for me. Oh, and when you subscribe, if you could turn on a notification bell, that'd be awesome. That way you're alerted when I actually drop a video or go live. I was planning to go live the other day. We had some unfortunate scheduling issues, but Shwinny Poo and I will be trying to go live next week, so stay tuned for that. And hopefully we're going to have lots of good stuff to talk about if the Knicks can repeat today's performance on Sunday against the Phoenix Suns. That's right. The New York Knicks just pulled off a tremendous come-from-behind win against their Eastern Conference rivals, the team that sent them home last playoffs, the Miami Heat. Yep, the New York Knicks took care of business, 100-98. Couldn't be more proud of the way this team responded in that fourth quarter after an abysmal third quarter. Another abysmal third quarter. They had an abysmal third quarter against the Minnesota Timberwolves and never recovered. This time, they were able to recover and actually sustain the momentum to overcome the deficit, take the lead, and then hold on to the lead. Outstanding. And many players took part in it, but none bigger than this guy. Immanuel Quickley, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Outstanding job for him. I mean, I couldn't be more proud of him. He scored in the fourth quarter alone. He scored 8 points himself. And in the third quarter, he came in kind of late there. He did provide 6 points. So he scored 14 points in the second half. Outstanding. Without him, there is no comeback, but there were many players. The whole bench really delivered in this game. I got highlights for you, got stats breakdowns. We're going to get all into it. But just remember this. Julius Randle played all 12 of the minutes in the third quarter where the Knicks were outscored by 17 points. He only played less than 4 minutes, 3 minutes and 50 seconds in that fourth quarter and barely touched the ball on offense. And that was a great adjustment on Thibs' part because he finally saw what we were all seeing, that Spo was baiting the Knicks into trying to get that favorable matchup for Julius and get the ball in his hands. And then they would double team him, trap him, blitz him. We were playing into his hands. Thibs removed that in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks were finally able to respond. So much so because in that first quarter, Julius Randle, unfortunately, he started off with, 4 turnovers in that first quarter. 4 turnovers alone. Now, we were only down by 3. We started off 28-25. Let's get to the highlights. Here we go. If my voice isn't quite there, I'm still recovering from this cold here. So the Knicks actually got off to a great start. They were up 10-1 in that first quarter right away. But as the Heat go, as Bam goes, the Heat goes. As Jimmy goes, the Heat goes. And both of them were delivering in that first quarter. Let's see, Jimmy gave him 5 points, 2 of 3, hit his 1 3-pointer, and Bam came through with 9 points, and he put Mitch Robinson into foul trouble immediately. He picked up 2 quick fouls, and that was a big change right there. Look at this little turnaround with the kindly rim right there. And here, this is where you start worrying a bit. You start thinking, okay, can the Knicks do it? But we got a little power bully ball right there from Julius. I wish he had done a little more of that. Here comes Immanuel Quickley looking for Brunson. Brunson couldn't speak more glowingly about Jalen Brunson tonight. His clutch shooting in that fourth quarter was outstanding. Overall for the game, he provided 24 points on 10 of 16 shooting. 10 of 16, and he was productive inside the arc this time. That's right, he's one of the best 3-point shooters percentage-wise in the NBA right now. But his paint game hasn't been there this season. Tonight we saw the return of it, and couldn't have come at a better time. He finished with 3 assists, 3 rebounds, only committed 2 turnovers in his 34 minutes, 24 points for him. But Immanuel Quickley, man, can't speak more glowingly of him. 8 of 17 overall, 4 of 8 from the 3-point line. 4 of 8 from 3-point. How many 3-pointers did he hit in that fourth quarter? Let me see here. In the fourth quarter, he was 2 of 3. The Knicks were shot 4 of 9 in that fourth quarter. And the three-point shot definitely was their friend in that fourth quarter. So you can see the game was close. It was tight. Leads were going back and forth. Oh, that was brutal. I mean, Grimes, he fouled him there. I mean, he played him pretty tight. But Jimmy's ability to catch, great pass behind Jaquez, one of my favorite rooks. He did have a rough fourth quarter once because nobody in the Heat was doing anything. So he had to put the offense was being run through him at one point. Now it was working in the third quarter, but I think they kind of, I don't know, they seemed a little fatigued. They couldn't make shots. Look at that. Look at Brunson there. That's the Brunson that we know of. We had not seen much of that this season, so it was great to finally see it. Look at that. Punishing them. Now we were down in that second quarter, and somehow miraculously on a Quentin Grimes last second 3-point shot, literally last second, gave the Knicks the lead going into the half, 51-50. And I believe that was Grimes' only shot he made. Yep. It was his only shot that he made all game. Grimes has been a disappointment, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but someone who has not been a disappointment is Rowan Barrett Jr. Stepped up, 18 points for him, 7 of 14 overall. Wasn't quite there, wasn't quite as sharp from the three-point line. He rattled a couple. It was one air ball, but he hit a monster three-pointer. I believe he hit the three-pointer that actually gave the Knicks the lead for the very first time in that fourth quarter. And that just shows you that's a guy with a winner's heart. He doesn't think about the stats. He doesn't think, I don't have it. When the moment calls for it, he steps up and then he delivered. He's not afraid to take the chance. He's not afraid of failure. That's the beautiful thing about RJ Barrett. And look at this. Third quarter, we're down, but then Immanuel Quickley steps in. We were down 21 points at that moment. Then it cut the lead to 18 with about 3:15 left. Again, another play here. Oh, this was a big play by Josh Hart. Josh Hart and Isaiah Hartenstein were both key instrumental in that comeback in that fourth quarter and towards the end of the third quarter. Here's another beautiful shot by Immanuel Quickley. Swish. Oh, he's a special player. He's a very special player. He is definitely going to collect the bag this offseason. Hopefully it comes from New York. Hopefully we give it to him because we need guys like that who have a killer mentality, who never say die mentality, because there was a lot of slumped shoulders in that first unit in that third quarter. A lot of they were almost like resigned that we're going to lose this game once again. But not that bench unit came in and said, no, we're not going to allow it to happen. Not going to allow it to happen. The bench unit accounted for 37 points themselves. 37 points on a night where the team barely crossed the 100 or struggled to hit the century mark. Look at that. Lucky. The toilet flush right there. Beautiful. Oh, man. This is a moment where you're like, okay, we got it down to 10. Can we get it? Can we go further? Then force the turnovers. Turnovers were a big part of this game. The Knicks committed way too many in the beginning, but there's that three-point shot that I was talking about. Oh, that's not the one. They didn't put it in my head, but that was a big shot because we were down 10, and it got us under double digits. Yeah, I totally misread. I'm thinking about someone else who hit that big three-point shot. So here, then Bam comes back in the game. 5-something left. Oh, Immanuel Quickley once again cuts it down to 6 right there. And then the crowd must have been going crazy. They could pick up the vibes. That was a funny little shot right there, a little pass. But Highsmith does hit the shot there. And then you start thinking, that leads back up to 9. And RJ just puts his head down. He's like, no. We're not gonna fold. There's plenty of time. Here, look at this one. Now we're down 7. Brunson takes it down. Oh, kisses it off the glass. He even got pounded on the shoulder. Once again, a Knicks player being hurt by Bam Adebayo. I feel like the NBA needs to look into that. The way he plays and the way he plays the Knicks specifically, I do believe that he is trying to hurt players. Seems like it. It's just too much of a coincidence. Too much. Oh, beautiful little hezzy right there. And then RJ just bully balls it with the right hand off the glass. Remember all the time the narrative, he has no right hand. Well, there's a right hand. We've seen a couple of them already this game. And then Brunson, boom, big bucket. Oh, so RJ did get the go-ahead bucket there earlier. And then Brunson, and then the defense that RJ played on Jimmy there in that last possession. Outstanding. I if I sound a little like fatigued, it's because I am. I exerted so much energy watching this game, and then there's the post Thanksgiving kind of like food coma situation to deal with. But that was outstanding. This, make no mistake, this is a humongous win for this team. Not that I was at all worried that they couldn't beat good teams. I wasn't, but I could sense out there in the Knicks world, Knicks universe, Knicks family, that there were a lot of doubters, a lot of fans that were thinking, you know what, we're just good enough to beat the bad teams and don't have it against the good teams. Well, we just beat one of the hottest teams in the entire NBA right now in a comeback fashion, and we weren't even playing that great. So bear that in mind. We weren't playing that great, but we had enough in the tank, enough tools in the tool chest. IQ, Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein, guys like that who came in to help propel this team, to re-energize that unit, to re-energize the whole squad into believing that they could pull off this comeback. And it also coincided with some excellent suffocating defense, which then resulted in Miami losing their rhythm, and then they couldn't make buckets. They couldn't make buckets when they desperately needed it, and the Knicks just kept going. And we had guys on our team who could make buckets under duress. Jalen Brunson, Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and Thibs kept the ball out of Randall's hands in that fourth quarter. This is not a criticism on Randall. It's just a statement of fact. When the ball was going through his hands, the team looked plodding. It looked unfocused. It just didn't have a spark about them. I mean, it's just what I saw, and that's what allowed Miami to build up that lead. Now, it wasn't just Randall. Other guys should be able to step up. Other guys should see that situation and start calling for the ball more. That's part of the stuff. This is one the things I'm going to stay focused on, the evolution of this team. I've been having a lot of discussions, with my friends and stuff about this team, and I'm thinking by game 82, if things go right the way I see them, this is going to be a very solid team. Very, very solid team. It's going to at least get back to the second round, and who knows? Depending on how the things lay out, they could get further this year. I know it's a lot to say right now, but that's just the way it's looking at the moment. Fantastic. So let's get to some stats here. Well, here, an Ian Begley tweet. Can't get through a Knicks-Verse video without an Ian tweet. I appreciate all the work he does so much for all of us. Heat missed 18 of 21 shots in the fourth quarter of Knicks' big comeback win. New York Knicks doesn't get victory without Immanuel Quickley. He had 20 points off the bench and hit 4 of 8 threes. NYK outscored Miami by 21 in his 26 minutes. Outscored him by 21 in his 26 minutes. RJ Barrett had 18, guarded Jimmy Butler well on the final possession. That's right. Let me show you something else here before we get to this. This is the lead tracker. Look at that, all that red in that second half. It was demoralizing. But then once they flattened out right there in that fourth quarter, you could sense this was possible. But, man, it required some maneuvering. One thing is, Thibs didn't bring Mitch back into the fourth quarter at all. I think it was for one possession or something. I don't even got credited for any minutes at all. It was Isaiah Hartenstein playing there. It was Hartenstein and 4 guards. Imagine that. A Thibodeau team. You even heard Doc Rivers talk about that. Who would have thought? Or was it Mike? I can't remember. Somebody called it out. Who would have thought that a Thibs team would play a center and 4 guards? This just shows the evolution of the NBA, the evolution of Thibs. He's not quite there yet. He's still frustrating. He still he's too permissive of Randall's bullshit. Honestly, I don't have another word for it. It's just his bullshit. It's like, think, bro. If you don't got it, get the ball to the guys who do, like you have been doing this season. There's been games where you have been awesome. You've known Quickley had it. You tried to get him the ball. I believe that can't remember which game that was, but we've seen flashes of it. But then you have this reversion. I don't understand it. I hope you get that worked out, brother, because shooting 41% is not going to cut it for the guy who has the ball in his hands too much on these Knicks. He ended up with 6 turnovers. 6 turnovers. One thing I want to show you here, too, is the team comparisons. So here, the second chance points were, kind kind of even. We were a -3 there, which in a game that's only won by 2 points, everything matters. But those points in the paint, we were a +14 in the paint. +14. That's Brunson driving. That's RJ driving. That's Josh Hart driving. That's even Randall driving, and delivering. That was outstanding. One guy that I want to see drive more is Quentin Grimes. I want to see him attack that defense. He's so passive sometimes, and it's starting to infuriate me. Yes, his defense is outstanding, one of the best defenders in the NBA, and that hasn't changed at all. But his offensive hesitancy is causing issues on that first unit. And I'm sure Thibs is going to address that at some point. The Knicks didn't shoot, that great from the three-point line, but it was good enough tonight. They shot 34.5% compared to the Heat, just 27%. The Heat, man, they went so ice cold in that fourth quarter. Well, in the whole second half, they shot 36.6% in the second half. They shot 5 of 16 from the three-point line, and they committed, the turnovers, we still outdid them in the negative way. Outdid them in the negative way there. But let's get back to these stats here. Here we go. I mentioned Randall, 13 points, 8 rebounds, but he did collect 7 assists. So excellent there. Mitch, 20 minutes, 2 of 4, 7 rebounds. Mitch only had 3 offensive rebounds for the game. I believe that's probably a low. That's probably a season low for when he's played at least 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm imagining. Brunson, as I mentioned before, 34 minutes, 10 of 16 overall, 24 points. Beautiful. RJ Barrett, 18 points for him, 7 of 14. And I believe 8 of those came in that fourth quarter for RJ. Is that right? Yes, 8 of those 18 points came in the fourth quarter. And let's see, Isaiah Hartenstein, a very solid 28 minutes, picked up 5 rebounds, got 1 assist, played some good defense. Josh Hart. Nice game for him. This was a typical type of Josh Hart game that we needed from him. Hit 1 of 3 from the three-point line, 4 of 7 overall, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 10 points. Beautiful. Kept the ball moving. The ball started moving. The ball was not moving. It was stagnating in that third quarter. Once that second unit came in, it's like they instinctually knew how to play the right way, and it happened. Dante DiVincenzo only played 16 minutes tonight, 1 of 4 overall, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. Again, missed the bunnies, couple of bunnies, disturbing. Finished with 5 points. But Immanuel Quickley was the star of the game, despite Brunson's tremendous heroics in that fourth quarter to solidify the lead. But there is no chance for a lead without the heroics of Immanuel Quickley tonight. Man, so the Knicks are now 9-6, and they are actually ahead of Miami in the in-season tournament standings because even though we have the same record, we're ahead of them in the head-to-head competition and in the points differential. So that's pretty important. If the Knicks beat Charlotte in the final in-season group play game, I think they will probably get the wild card. I think they'll probably get one of the wild cards. It's looking good for them in that respect. Now, one thing you got to look at that's really interesting here is the plus-minus. Only one starter with plus in the plus-minus, and that was RJ Barrett, because he was with that second unit. He was with that second unit when it totally changed the momentum. Number 1 in plus-minus, Immanuel Quickley. They outscored the Heat by 22 points while he was on the court. Wow. Same in Isaiah Hartenstein. Plus 18 for him. Josh Hart plus 5. DiVincenzo plus 7. It was the bench guys and RJ with the most impact in terms of controlling the game, controlling the scoring of this game. Outstanding. I couldn't be happier, man. I could not be happier with this result. I'm sure everyone's relieved at this point, because now if you don't think we have a team after this type of win, then I don't know what to say, but get ready. There's going to be more wins like this. There's going to be more wins like this for this team. They're a gutty team, and Thibs is beginning to adjust. I just wish he wouldn't play into the hands of the Masters like a Spo, which he often does. So next time, I think Thibs is going to be ready, but we know Spo is going to be ready, because the beauty of Spo is that he tries many different things in the arc of a game flow. You know, he doesn't just try to do one thing. Suddenly he'll throw out some zone at you, some man-to-man. Sometimes he'll go really small. Sometimes he'll go really big. He tries to test things out to see what works. He's not a template coach, which we know Thibs has been accused of that, especially here on this channel. We've accused that, and JD, everyone's heard that for sure. But tonight showed that he has flexibility in him by showing so much faith in that second unit to carry him to victory. That was awesome. When I saw Randall get up with under 4 minutes left to get into the game, I gulped. But it was interesting that the play calling didn't change with Randall on the court. In fact, we were able to take advantage of the positives of Randall's game. His size, his defending, his ability to take up space on the floor, his ability to call double teams. We took advantage of all that, but the responsibility of running the offense was not on his shoulders in that fourth quarter, which they were earlier in the game. And that's one of the reasons that we were floundering. So that was a great adjustment by Thibs and the entire squad itself. The Miami Heat, as you can see, Jimmy Butler, 23 points for him, 3 of 5 from the three-point line in 37 minutes, but only 2 rebounds for Jimmy. 3 times only. Bam, 21 points, 12 rebounds on 50% shooting for him. Kyle Lowry, once again, always, productive little guy, old guy there. He defies age right there himself. 10 points to be point guard at this level. Let's take my cap off to him. Josh Richardson, again, shot 50% himself. The starters did well. The starters were productive. Their bench just had nothing much, except for Jaime Jaquez, who I think a little too much burden of running the offense fell upon his shoulders late in that third quarter and beginning of that fourth quarter. And I think he just played too many minutes. Let's see, he played all 12 minutes in the fourth quarter, Jaime Jaquez, after playing 5 minutes in that third. So he played, I believe Jaime Jaquez played the last 17 minutes of this game. So there you go. Let's see here, the team comparisons, the other form of them. As you can see, the Miami Heat only shot 27% from the three-point line. That's never going to cut it in the NBA. The Knicks took 8 less three-point shots and made just as many as the Heat. The Knicks took 6 less shots overall. That's rarely happens for this Knicks team. We are the second chance points dynamos. So this is a beautiful way that the Knicks were able, it's a beautiful sign that the Knicks were able to win in a different fashion than they had been winning, because that is the mark of a good team. That is the mark of a team that can evolve into something else. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this game. I'm going to rewatch it later on, because this, I think, is indicative of the good things that can happen with this squad moving into the future. Steals, Miami had more steals. 21 assists is dismal. Paltry, but look, Miami Heat only had 20 themselves, and a lot of it's because they were missing shots. They just couldn't make shots. We had 19 turnovers though. Whew, terrible. And we allowed 25 points off of those turnovers. We were a minus 11 right there. Man, it's amazing that we were able to overcome that, but one way we were able to overcome that is with points in the paint. Like I mentioned before, we were plus 14 there. Miami had the biggest lead, 21 points at one time, but they came away the losers today. And I couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be more happy. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and I want to hear your thoughts and feelings about this game. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, regardless, just want to hear them. They help me a lot. And I'll see you Sunday. All right. I'll see you around the Knicks-Verse.